So, the next time you're watching Dune and Paul's standing before the Bene Gesserit with his hand in the box, envision that Paul is carefully trying to balance minifigures because there's no studs for them to stand on. And then that scene will be far more humorous and make a lot less sense. Kevin or Brick Ninja here, and today we're going to be taking a look at my entry for the Dune Collaboration. This was a collab done by Rebelug, where we built different scenes going through the movie that came out last year, and I had Duncan Idaho's death, and I was really excited to try to tackle this one, particularly with the lighting and everything, but this is what the build looks like in its entirety, which is pretty weird and kind of ugly looking compared to the photo. So there's a couple of random components, this back wall, this little chunk of flooring. We'll pull those off. And we'll get you a 360 spin here where you can see all of the plates sticking off the sides. To get the curvature, the plates are not fully connected. So they're connected on one side, but then completely disconnected on the other side, which forces them into a curve. So the outside looks super weird and ugly, but the inside has a very nice, smooth curve to them. And I was just really happy with how that turned out. It was a little bit of a challenge while I was building in particular. Once it was all connected, it was fairly stable, but during the build process, it was pretty fragile and I have huge chunks fall off and break. But now that it's all there, it's pretty sturdy. So this is the back wall, but pretty much all of the walls followed this same basic pattern. It was a bunch of 1 wide or 2 wide plates all stacked, and then I would integrate dark gray in amongst the dark tan to kind of give some more variation and a little bit more detail or texture. But I definitely went only with plates because there is a lot of striated effect on the walls in the movie, and so I wanted just even that little bit of defining vertical lines from using plates rather than mixing in bricks or other type of elements that would kind of break up that line. The hallway ground also had a lot of striation effect, very long straight lines in the ground, almost like someone had raked the sand or something like that. In order to do that, I used the groove of tiles to give you that long, noticeable straight line, but obviously you can't connect tiles together. So what I did was I would make a layer of 2 wide plates and then have 1 wide tile and then 1 wide plates on there, and I could stack them up, and so that way there it would all stick together, but I still could use that groove in the tile for the detailing that I wanted. So I'd get a whole stack together, and the back would, look like that, have a bunch of colors in it, but the front would have a subtle, long, horizontal line, and I just made it like really wide for the main walkway, and about that long, and then this one here is just a short section that sits behind the slightly open door just to give a little bit of the flooring there that you can see. And then obviously on the sides here, I just got a bunch of like slopes and tiles built up to kind of do the sand on the edges of the hallway. So as I mentioned earlier, lighting this was a little bit of a challenge, not too much. I just had it sitting on my dining room table, and the ceiling light would shine down and let the light filter into the hallway below. But when I tried it with all of my deep skylights, which are mostly torn apart now, but when I did it with all of those, there wasn't quite enough light that filtered in. I mean, it was pretty good, but I wanted to match the movie a little bit better, so I ended up taking those off, and the lighting worked a lot better. And then I could just kind of copy and paste parts of the two images together to get the deeper skylights up above, but then the lighting that I wanted on the walkway below. Now, you can't really see it here because the lighting's completely different. So let me grab my phone and take a look at the stripes of light as I move it over. It was just something that was a lot of fun, and I like how it works and looks in there. It's something that I think would be fun to try to do some more in some builds, some high contrast shadows and bright spots. And I just thought that was something that was really fun and interesting to work with. Alrighty, so let's take a look at the final photo here. And this definitely has a bit of Photoshop work in it, but there's also a lot that was done there in camera. Very little editing was done for the lighting and nothing for the build. I did tweak the lighting a little bit in Photoshop. Mostly I worked with the amount of saturation and the color gradient to match closer to the lighting and the color palette that the movie had, and then also adding in the dust particles and tweaking a few things here and there. So anyways, I hope you have enjoyed taking a look at the behind the scenes of my Dune build. There wasn't anything super crazy in techniques. Really the most unusual thing was not fully attaching the plates and just doing that so prevalent in a single build. Vast majority of this build is from plates not fully attached. That's something I hadn't really done before, but I thought that was kind of a fun technique. And then the lighting was really fun, and working on the ground was also something that I was really happy with how I came up with that solution. So just kind of some fun tips and different opportunities or different ways to make things work. Anyways, until next time, Brick Ninja out.